My first choice for tonight was The Unknown Famine because it was made in 1973, and it documents a hidden famine that took place in Ethiopia that was vociferously denied by the imperial regime, by Haile Selassie's regime. And this British journalist, Jonathan Dimbleby, stumbled across it, literally, and captured this footage. And it was some of the first footage we'd ever seen in the West of these images that became sort of archetypal of starving children and famine in Ethiopia, or perhaps in Africa in general. In fact, it was some of the first imagery that many Ethiopians themselves had ever seen. It was shocking in the sense that it exposed to people in their own country what was going on. In fact, it brought about the end of the Haile Selassie regime once it was shown to the public. I think one of the shocking things about this film was exposing what was taking place in a country to Ethiopians themselves. That lack of access to information, the denial of a whole experience of a sector of the population. These issues, to me, are kind of fundamental to human rights and expression. I mean, both the fact that Dimbleby went in there and took the liberty, I suppose, of broadcasting this footage to the West, but then it was also used, it was fed back to the Ethiopian population so that they could get a sense of what was going on in their own country. Deluge sort of covers the same era. I mean, it starts around this time of '73 and goes up more or less to the present. And what I like about it is it offers an alternative to what was happening in the country at the time. It is not focused on the victims of famine, but it's focused on how distressed the intelligentsia was, students, how they mobilized around this issue to try and, in all earnestness, affect a really positive change in the country. So it looks at a very sort of sophisticated side of Ethiopia, where a highly sophisticated conversation about politics is taking place. And it's a real, I think because we have become so used to these images of Ethiopia as kind of as destitute, as emaciated, to see a very vocal and vibrant movement as a kind of counterweight is important. I had a friend when I was an undergraduate at the University of Toronto who had come to Toronto by way of a scholarship through World University Services Canada. She was Ethiopian. She'd come from a refugee camp just outside of Nairobi. Her story was powerful, painful, moving, important, and she started to introduce me to some of the complexities of this place. And that led me to be really interested in the social and cultural and political aspects of Ethiopia and pursue that as a graduate student and then beyond. Thank you very much.